What is going on, people? Welcome back to the Top Tier Podcast. This is episode 92. My name is Brendan. You can, of course, find me on the YouTubes at youtube.com/Retel Factor. You can find this show, the Top Tier Podcast, over at youtube.com/Top Tier Podcast. With me today, Esports Money, Behr Rudy.
Woo!
And what's my thing for Ben? Is it just Ben? Benjamin Espinosa?
See? That's how long it's been. That's how long it's been since I've been to the show. He's completely
Benjamin Espinosa.
Yeah, call me Drake because you forgot about me, okay?
Damn. Okay, Ben.
I forgot about
Drake. Come on.
I got you.
Damn, this guy. Retel's just too white sometimes,
what are you
man.
talking about?
You gotta know.
He grew up in the island.
Yeah, you listening to too much Green Day growing up,
What
dog.
the fuck?
All right, you gotta be listening to that
I'm like
hardcore shit.
That good Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm like half
exactly.
white. You guys act like I'm the fucking
cutting
most
your
miracle
wrist.
whip, Wonder Bread loving motherfucker.
Where are you?
Why you're-
And I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
Blink 182, first of all.
I know. I know it was Blink 182, dog.
Actually,
I really like Blink 182.
I love I've seen them in concert. Like
I'm trying to blow up Retel right now, using all the ammunition I have.
Yo, me and Lou went and saw Blink twice together.
Oh, did you guys? Nice, yeah. And to be honest, I loved Green Day as well.
I know all these shots you're taking. I'm like, these are all the bands you love.
I love music.
I like
man.
90s Green Day, dude. 90s Green Day was bad.
Yeah. That's what I was more talking about too.
Anyways, what the fuck's going on? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
I know we just recorded an episode, but how are things between then and now?
Well, Retel got us some water.
Living the life.
Some of that tap water.
There you go. Nothing but the best.
Working part time. It's a good life. It's nice because season's over, so I'm just jumping from show to show, and yeah, it's been good. Seeing a lot of different things. So I think I finally found a show I'm gonna, fingers crossed, gonna stay with. So yeah.
What's the show?
Trial and Error. It's a comedy. They're working on season 2 right now, but I don't
think I've heard of it.
You know what? I had never heard of it, but being on the show, it's actually like hilarious. Like I'm like reading the script, I'm watching it play out, and it's actually like because it's shot kind of like The Office and Parks and Recs, where it's like it looks like it's real, but obviously it's scripted. But it's actually hilarious. So I want to check it out. Check out season 1. But I feel that it might be one of those shows that people should be watching and are not.
Yeah.
But they're just on season 2 again.
But the bad thing about shows now is they get canceled so fast.
They do,
They get canceled so fast. Like, some of the greatest shows of all time had really weak beginnings. Like, Seinfeld is one of my favorite fucking shows. Season 1 and 2 of Seinfeld are rough.
That's the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Yo, Seinfeld is so good.
It's his people's, man.
That's your people.
Show of his people's.
I respect it, though. I respect it.
Yeah, I respect it. It's hilarious.
But, like, Seinfeld would have gotten canceled.
Right.
If it was, like, held up to today's standards. Because they had a rough couple first seasons. Right. But afterwards, like, I'm not alone in saying I love Seinfeld. Like, it's one of the greatest shows. Yeah. It's considered one of the greatest sitcoms of all time.
Yeah.
And, like, it had such a shitty first couple seasons. But, yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes shows need some room to breathe. Like, I think Parks and Rec got really lucky. Because apparently that first season was rough, too.
I didn't find it that rough, to be honest. I mean, it got better for sure, and like more characters got developed, but I didn't find it that bad. I actually found it a little.
Lou and Billy love Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec is great.
Well, Damien loves it.
It's such a good show.
Well, maybe you have a show like The Office. At least for me, like the first season's so cringe, and I don't know, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Like for me, that's why I like couldn't watch it because it just made me cringe so bad. Like, but I guess that's a little different. Then I don't know if that's how it was. Well, no, and again, I know they're completely different shows. But
did like Firefly get canceled back when it was on air? Like, didn't they want to have like an actual? I mean, they did Serenity, but
that's old news. Yeah, Firefly. But they're doing a few episodes.
Firefly
I believe.
got canceled?
I believe they're coming back. Unless I'm thinking of something completely different. But I thought I heard that Firefly.
I feel like I would have heard about it.
I'm just talking about like the history of TV shows, like this stuff that always, like, even if stuff is amazing, sometimes it just gets canceled and
it's insane.
Doesn't end properly, right? Like did Reboot really didn't have a good ending, right?
Didn't have a proper ending.
I don't think that's because it got. Is that because it got canceled?
Well, I think they had more like ideas for like to actually conclude the story. In my mind, that's kind of like being canceled because you're not getting renewed for another kind of arc, right? So they just didn't get to conclude the story how they.
It's always the worst when it's like a show you like and it's a show that's so good, and then it just like the ending of Clone High. Season 1, that one hurt so bad, dude.
So that was Retel had like talked it up, or maybe he didn't. But I was just, but the point is,
I love Clone High. I would have talked it up, I'm sure.
But it's because of him that I found. I found out about the show. So I was like, hey, lend me this, and he did. So I watched it, and like I did it all in one sitting at work, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. It was hilarious, and. So then, when it finishes, I was like, "Yo, Retel, like, do you have season 2?"
You didn't know.
And that was the thing. And like, I was just like, because for some reason I thought there was a season 2, and this was a day before I had internet on my phone. So he's like, "Dude, like, no." He's like, "There's no season 2." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, no, it's canceled."
Oh, yeah.
It broke my heart. Just broke my heart because I was just like, I don't know if I wanted to watch this then because the way it ended was.
Just especially because the way it ended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Undergrads was a great show. It got canceled. Very sad about that. Mm-hmm. But the ending for Clone High in particular was so bad.
It just, everything, like, the show went from, like, I'm not saying the show was bad, but, like, that ending went from, like, a 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah.
Like,
and then it ends.
Like, it's a good episode of the show. It's not a bad episode, but obviously they built it up to conclude whatever the hell happened, like, in season 2. Because it leaves like on a cliffhanger, a straight up cliffhanger. Yeah, it's the worst when that happens.
It sucks because I feel like shows like Clone High and Undergrads, they do a lot better today.
Yeah,
because just how comedy and things have changed today, especially Clone High, more particular, I think would just do so much better with today's audience and today's like people's taste in comedy. So. That's the saddest thing. It'd be amazing if like some network or like Netflix picked it up for like a season. They would do so well.
There's an episode with Tom Green in there. You guys remember Tom Green?
I remember Tom Green.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he was huge
in the late '90s, early 2000s, dude.
Have you seen that Tom Green clip of him ordering Subway?
Oh, dude, there's so many crazy Tom
so many
Green
weird.
clips.
Yeah, he's just.
Where the fuck is he today?
I was I was thinking about that earlier, like maybe last week.
What the fuck happened to Tom Green?
I'm just like, what's Tom Green doing? Is he still relevant? Like, what's going on?
He was married to Drew Barrymore, dude.
Yeah. Dang.
He was.
Crazy.
I know. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, insanity.
He did just like the craziest, stupidest shit. And some of his movies, like remember Freddy Got Fingered? Oh my god.
I don't even know what that was about. I remember it coming out.
About a kid Freddy who got fingered by his dad. But anyway, he did some crazy shit back in the day. That's a deep cut. People, Tom Green. A lot of our viewers probably have no idea who Tom Green is.
Yeah.
That Canadian.
Well, no, it's not. He was big in the States.
No, I know he was, but he was
Canadian.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're younger than 25, you'll have no idea who Tom Green is.
Well, again, he's not relevant
fizzled
at all.
So fast. Yeah. He just came and went. I don't know. Anyways,
rest in peace, Tom Green.
Last episode, we were talking about some questions from the top tier community, which you guys can send in questions over at our Discord.
We're 8 episodes away. What are we doing? Like
the top tier community Discord.
I mean,
we got a questions area.
I think I hear Titus though.
It's not
that's already been covered though, right?
It's not talking about. Did you watch last episode?
Yeah, of course I watched it. I watched
2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I watched it.
Everyone wants Titus, but I'm just like, again, come on, you guys. We already did Titus.
Yeah, but
we can't do that for episode 100. Like that's it. We got to do something more.
See, show.
Well, like it has to be something plus Retitus, just to like we do something bigger, but you should be wearing the Retitus.
See, that's a problem when you give someone money, because now it's gonna come to a point where it's gonna be like, all right, we'll do Retitus, but you gotta pay us.
Yeah.
It's a Patreon.
Yeah, that's a Patreon tier.
Okay, this is a question from Pompous Pogs. Would you rather be able to fly or phase through objects? Oh, wait. Would you rather be able to fly or phase through objects? Whichever power you choose tends to fail from time to time, but only during the use of that power. If you choose flight, you must always be at least 25 feet in the air when it's in use. There's a lot of parameters on
Yeah, I know. This is fucked up.
If you choose phasing through objects, the power cannot be used again once it has failed for another 3 months.
The cooldown, man.
This means whatever you've tried to phase through will be part of you for 3 months. So if you try to phase through a wall, you're stuck in that wall for 3 months. where you have to like chip the wall.
Okay, hold up. So Pompous Pog, be real with us. Are you like? Do you have powers? Is this what you're dealing with right now? Like
this is like
this is real, man. This is too real.
Like if your flight fails from time to time, what are you gonna do?
Okay, see, the reason I wouldn't want flight, and I thought about this, because for one, no one knows how high is too high. You're gonna go too high in the atmosphere. You're gonna be low on oxygen. You're gonna pass out and crack your head on the cement.
Well,
you're done skis.
You're gonna be fucking ground beef.
At 25 feet, you're still gonna like. Nah, I don't want to live with that. So I'll probably go with phasing, because and it's scary as hell, because I mean I end up on your door like. Scary, nah.
Yeah.
But I'd probably go with phasing just because. I mean, if you're flying, you're 25 feet in the air. People are gonna see you, and you're gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I'll choose.
If you're the only dude who's able to fly, it's like, what the fuck?
What
the fuck is that guy doing?
Chris Angel?
I would pick flying for the emergency situation, though. I don't know. Even though that it fails a lot, it's kind of like, what if like a kid's falling off of a balcony or some shit? You can just quickly be like,
okay, hold up. Kid's falling off a balcony. You're gonna fly, pick them, and then
hey, listen.
And just like it fails, you just end up body slamming him from fucking 25 feet.
Well, it's fine. He'll land on me. I'll save the kid and I'll die.
No, you'll land on.
You watch enough DC comics. You watch the Superman shit all the time, man. That's what he does.
Dude, Superman and flying are two different things. All right.
Superman could do everything.
What I never understood about phasing is like what prevents you just from phasing right through the ground. As soon as you activate the power, wow,
right?
You're gone.
Right into the Earth's core.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
There you like end up in China.
Yeah.
Was that a bad thing, Ben?
Phasing through the ground, ending up in China. Like, the math doesn't work because once you get to the core, you're not going anywhere.
Well, I would imagine you would be falling so fast. You know what I mean? And then you just you kind of like slingshot.
Yeah, on the core.
You might.
Yeah, just
die
from the heat.
Might work.
Yeah,
that
but
way.
what do you phase through the heat?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, what if it fails by that point?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a long trip down there.
That's 3-month cooldown.
Yeah,
you're stuck down there. Anyways, thanks so much for the question, Pompous Pogs. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, get that check, dude.
Yeah.
There's a question from your boy Corky. What kind of music do you like? How much do you listen to music? Has your taste changed over the years? Can you appreciate all types? And no, that's a separate question. Okay, music.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I'm all about music, to be honest. I'm always listening to music.
What do you listen to now, Ben? What's your?
Right now, I'm
Enrique Iglesias.
Enrique Iglesias.
I'm really in a hip hop kind of place right now. Like
this is Mark Anthony.
A lot like Frank Ocean right now is probably like top of my list right now. I just love Frank Ocean. Listen to the Kendrick just this week. I don't know if you can find it anywhere else other than Audiomack, but there's a DJ Critical Hype that came out with this just like mash some tracks. It's like Kendrick rapping to Dre beats, and some of the. So I got kind of bored of some of them, but some of them are just insane, off the chain stuff. In fact, we're going next month. Kendrick is coming with SZA and Schoolboy Q, and I can't remember who else. So Momo and Billy and I are gonna go watch the show next month.
Going.
Yeah. So but I mean, I love all kinds of music. Indie rock. I've been getting back into Sufjan Stevens again. Arcade Fires, like. That's a band I'll watch anytime on concert because they're just.
Yeah, I know. I tried to see if they were coming here for their tour. They're doing this crazy worldwide tour right now, and they're not coming to Vancouver. I'm like, what the fuck?
They just played at the Juno Awards. They were done here.
Oh, yeah, at the Juno Awards.
Yeah, no, and I know that's different, but they had a show in the summer as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I won't say I'll listen to anything because I mean, when it comes to like jazz and classical and country, like I just don't really swing that way. Like depends on the mood.
Yeah, I think there's so many types of music that I think like I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to, but I think like is suitable in certain times. You know what I mean? Like what do I mainly listen to? I don't know. Fuck, man. I listen to all kinds of stuff. Like I love one of my favorite artists right now is like Post Malone. It's so sick, dude.
Really? You
Tony Maloney,
Yo,
man.
Post. I think.
I never thought you of as Post Malone
Yo,
kind of guy,
yo,
dude.
I think
Retel doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't
he's
do anything.
just the most likable fucking dude, and I think it's partially because I'm a huge H3 fan.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
But also, like, his music, he's just super talented. Like, I was watching some of his like live performances. He covered like a Nirvana song, and I'm just like, oh, dude, he's so sick. Like, not even just like, you know, like hip hop or whatever, but like just for all kinds of music. He just does a lot of different types of stuff. And
he just does music.
He's
That's
just
the thing.
multi-talented. I actually I really respect Post.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's certain bands that I'll always kind of gravitate towards too. I love 80s music. I love 90s music. I have a hard time appreciating a lot of modern music, to be honest. But I love the White Stripes. I love Jack White in particular, dude. He's like one of my favorite musicians on the face of the earth.
Yep.
I love Billy Corgan, the fucking Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins, man.
And I love the Strokes. I think like every album, even their new stuff is
your dick, that's
fucking amazing.
Julian
their new
Casablancas,
stuff is,
but just anything Julian does, like even like when he like a track they did Lonely Island, like I jammed to that stuff, man. Anything Julian does, I'm there.
Just like even like their old music aged really well too. Everything, Strokes are like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. How about you, Behr?
I'm the same, man. I've always been so open to all of my genres, but I've always been more of a hip hop head.
That DMX, man.
Hey, man, I grew up listening. That was my childhood. But yeah, just like a very huge mix. Obviously, still listen to J. Cole and Drake as like my two main sources. I'll always love Drizzy, as mainstream as he is. He's just really talented, and I just love the whole new wave of more intelligent hip hop has always been my thing. I feel like Kanye started, and Kanye is like my god. Like I love Kanye West so much. I don't care what anyone says about him.
He thinks he's a god.
Yeah, no,
yo, he is a fucking god, man. So like, I just feel like he's just so talented, and you know, people a lot of times don't give him the credit.
He gives himself the credit.
He gives himself. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he definitely seems like a rough person to deal with, but dude, in terms of his musical genius, you cannot say anything about.
For sure, I think he's super talented too. Yeah. I think he's such a character when it comes to his self praise.
Yeah.
That I think is really funny, but he is super talented.
Yeah,
I don't deny him that.
I could almost put myself in his shoes in a sense where he probably deals with so much shit and so many people talking shit to him all the time. And it's just like, I can't imagine. I mean, when I know he's married to Kim Kardashian and stuff. I mean, that whole transition for him must have been like I can't imagine the amount of people who are outcrying to him, but it's kind of like his personal life. Let him do his thing.
He's kind of stayed out of the spotlight recently, hasn't he?
He has been, which I think is good for him. Like he's done a lot of things of like when things are going rough in his life, like, you know, he did the whole Taylor Swift thing. Like I think he like moved to Japan for like 6 months, and he was just like in a secluded area, just making music because he needed to get away from all of it. But yeah, he's definitely a controversial guy. Fucks a lot of things up, but his music is great. But other bands, man, I listen to a lot of stuff, man. I'll listen to some Spanish songs once in a while. You know what I listen to a lot?
Listen to Enrique, man. He's throwing shade over
not Enrique, though. Not Enrique.
Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin.
Shakira.
Living La Vida Loca.
Oh, man. I listen to, like, I don't know, like, I have some Smokey Robinson songs and, like, crazy, like, just 80s stuff that I love, man. Like,
I love 80s music, dude.
Yeah, I
love 80s music.
I'll have, like, my Google Home. I'll just tell it to play certain playlists that I found are just so good from the 80s that I just absolutely love. Like, every song that comes on, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, sometimes I don't know the song, and I'll be like, I'll ask the Google, like, hey, what the fuck's the name of the song?
It's a trip.
It's
classics
awesome.
are, I mean,
it's so good.
Well, I mean, and me, I love it though. I mean, from Beatles to Zeppelin, Bowie, like, just there's so much good music all around, and even like some of the weirder stuff like Sparks, like T-Rex, like
it's crazy how therapeutic like music can be. Sometimes I've gone like, you know, like weeks without listening to music for whatever reason.
Me too.
And then like when I do finally kind of lay down and like listen to something and just enjoy it, I'm like, wow, why am I not doing this earlier, right? So
for me, it's all music, to be honest. And when I was doing Provident, like when I was doing my security job, I always had the radio going or like music going. But then now, and that's why now being in film, it's a bit weird because like I don't have the luxury of having music on. And that's like the one thing. But like, nah, like there's never really few times do I have silence, and it's like when I'm reading.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I got music any minute I can.
That's amazing. But I've always been the type of person to keep my spectrum quite open, man. I've always loved that. It just sucks to always limit yourself to a genre. There's only so much good music in a genre, right? Like the time where I started to fall out of hip hop was kind of like that 50 Cent era, and that was just
a rough era, dude.
a very rough time in hip hop, right? Like where Ja Rule and 50 were going at it, and it's just and like when Kanye kind of came into this scene, that was the fresh take of like, okay, this is the next generation, and it opened the doors for J. Cole and Drake and Kendrick too, right? Like. Well,
and that's a funny thing because it was like when I was it would have been like 2005 where I stopped listening to hip hop because I was listening to a lot of like Chicano rap.
That's fucking trash.
Like Outkast, Outkast is to this
Outkast
day still not my favorite. Yeah. But then I started listening to like rock and started listening to all sorts of things from like My Chemical Romance to Metric and Franz Ferdinand and just like
that was a good generation.
You know what I was listening to actually a few days ago? I was thinking of you too, man. I was like, the Killers. That's exactly what I was listening to. I was like, man, I used to love the Killers. I used to listen to so much of their music that
Hot Fuss and Sam's Town were such good albums, man.
Yeah. And it was and that was like straight rock, just all sorts of rock, like from hard rock to indie rock to soft rock, like all sorts of left and right, electronic rock, But then maybe a year ago, like suddenly I started listening to Kendrick. Like I just heard at HMV they were playing Wesley's. HMV, well they're playing Wesley's Theory.
Wait, we have HMV still?
I know that's why
it's dead.
Oh, okay.
That's what like this was when it happened.
Oh,
like this was like they're playing Wesley's Theory, and Damien's like, what are they playing? Because it sounded insane. And I'm like, I have no idea. And then it's Kendrick. I was like, okay. Started listening to Kendrick, and I got back on that hip hop game, man. Because it's so good. I mean, you got so many young like kids too. You got Jaden Smith's actually good. You got Rory, who's really like young kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Jaden's a little older now, but then and you got Childish Gambino.
Gambino's awesome.
And I don't know if you listen to any of Tyler the Creator, but that guy's insane.
I don't like Tyler that much. I can't say.
And I but you listen to some of his, because his old stuff, it's like all hate. It's just hate. But then you start moving to like some of his Wolf and even like his
people
newer
develop.
Stuff.
People
like
develop.
he's changed it up completely.
I remember Hobson. I never used to like his stuff too. It was just like a little too weird and out of there for me. And now he's developed in the last like 3 or 2 years. I'm like, wow, Hobson's really getting fucking good. Like he's amazing. But so many bands that like and groups, especially for hip hop, they don't know. Like there's one group called Audio Push, absolutely amazing. They have an amazing producer behind them. This guy named Hit Boy. He does like a lot of the biggest instrumentals. But check them out one day, man. You will love Audio Push. I don't know how they're not like bigger right now, but they're just so talented. So. Yeah.
Thanks so much for the question.
Yeah, it was really good.
Corky. This is a question from Sad Little Pun Pun. What's the best aspect of everyone in top tier? Ooh.
Retel's a chode.
No one's got anything nice to say about me.
No idea.
I don't know, man. Well, it's hard to narrow it down.
Well, okay, so I'll break it down, but I think the coolest thing is just, although we all come from different places, at the same time we all come from the same place. Where it's like, I mean, because most of us, I think the whole team come like from like immigrant parents who like moved into this country, and like and it's not a joke on Retel like at all, because he's half white and whatnot, but he came from the island and he came to a whole new environment.
So white guy, Retel.
So he didn't come from a different country, but in a sense, like he came in like when he was in high school, so he did come from like a different place to some extent. But I don't know, we all can see either that and that, and so race is not like really, even though we joke around with race. We joke around
because we're such a multicultural podcast. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
And so really so we joke about it, but we really don't see that sort of thing everyone is just chill, super nice, and we're just real. And like I don't think there's ever been any real drama. Like there's never been a real fight about anything.
That's true, dude.
Like over nothing. And it's because I mean sometimes they'll be drinking and whatnot, but and so me, I don't drink. And I've been to parties where people drink, and I'm just like, nah, it's not for me. But when you guys do it, like, I don't care. It's fine, because everyone still keeps it real, keeps it chill, and we're all taking care of each other. We're just family.
It's true. We've never had any like beef or drama in our group at all.
I beef with you all the time, or so.
Yeah. Well, It's only when I beat you in Street Fighter.
Oh.
Let's talk about Street Fighter 2
when
over
we-
at EXP Bar.
Or when we put on the Smash Ball.
Yeah,
Put on the Smash Ball.
the Smash Ball
That's
is
the only
the,
time
is
there's
the
ever-
real beef. That's the real beef right
time
there.
there's only
That's
beef.
ruining friendships right there, man.
The
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. What was it? Mario
Mario Party.
Oh.
When I lose my
Smash-
stars.
The Smash Bar, man.
Smash Ball.
Mario Party is rough too. Oh.
Mario Party has been rough. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I think Ben summed it up. Like, I don't know if they're looking for like a breakdown of each person, but you know, as a group, we're just really chill. We're all on the same level. You know what I mean? All on the same page.
And
We just get each other. I don't know.
and it's a weird. I can't really explain it because there is no expectation from one another. There is, but there isn't. So like, you know, if someone has like a birthday party, like if you don't show up to it, or you know, if someone has like an event going on and whoever can't make it, it's not like why weren't you there sort of thing.
No one
It's
ever
just-
takes anything personally.
It's just like, okay, everyone's got a life, everyone's got something to do, and
you know, like our group is weird too, because you know what I mean. Like they always tell you like, oh, your friends in high school, like you know, no, you're never gonna be friends with your high school friends forever. But we're like the exception because we are still all friends, and it's like an anomaly. You know what I mean? It is a little weird, and like I don't see that changing. You know what I mean?
And I mean, even like, and that's why I love the podcast, and I think it means so much to us, the podcast, because this is what brings us together. Like, because when the podcast isn't happening, at least for me personally, I don't see you guys a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, we're all adults, dude.
Yeah,
It's hard.
But yeah, so that's why this means so much because it brings us together. But even when it doesn't, it's all good.
Yeah.
We catch up eventually.
Bears remains silent. He's got nothing good to say about any of us.
No, I fucking hate everyone here. I don't know why I'm here.
He's lost subscribers.
I know, I'm losing it. I know, man. This is all, fuck.
That series is canceled, by the way.
It is. That's the end of it. Shit. I mean, we don't have much to go, actually.
That's true. We're almost done that series.
That's how you're going to be sad, dude.
I am gonna be sad, man. It was fun. Those videos are fun.
we'll
I know
see.
I get it's a
Maybe
lot
bring
of
it
work.
Yeah, I mean, we'll bring it back. Just like maybe like a little hiatus, just see how people think about it. Sometimes it's good for people to digest the
Do
content.
seasons.
So season 2, you could call it the Run Back.
Oh.
Monday Night Fights, the Run Back.
The Run Back.
yeah.
Season
It's so
2.
funny, like Monday Night Fights, how it's like, me and Bear always end up fighting each other somehow. I don't know how it's not. It's not rigged. It's just that it just happens. It's so funny.
Well, that's why it's so funny, and
The rivalries.
and the odds are so low too. I mean, it's just 4 of you.
Yeah, no. How is this happening?
But I mean, it's just crazy when you see Billy like turn up, and it's just like.
Billy has surprised us a few times too. Man.
Hey, that's one thing I love about the series, and I love that how it's been going. Is the fact that everyone's been winning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not
no
been
one's
like
dominating everything.
one person just destroying. Like it just will not be that fun. And I love the fact that everyone just kind of has their strengths and everyone had their moments. It's so great.
But and that's
everyone's
what I love.
won once, right?
Yeah,
and that's what I love because the games, like again, they're very well picked because it could be. I mean,
They're still last minute too.
We spend a long time deciding what games to play.
but hey, it works. I mean, whatever you guys are doing, it's working. So watch
Thanks,
it,
man. Thanks.
Subscribe, like, comment.
Thanks so much for the question. Said little pun.
Thanks, man. I'll pay you later.
Under the table.
This is a question from the Paper Flame. Thoughts on Avengers Infinity War? Will you guys be seeing it opening night? Holy shit. So by the time this podcast goes up,
We're going to be a week away.
it'll be
2 weeks, or 2 or 3 weeks.
So this goes up on the 17th. Okay. So yeah, it'll be like a week away, basically. Week and a half away. Damn.
Yeah.
So I have yet to watch Black Panther, if that answers your question.
Let's go watch it with Billy because he hasn't seen it yet either.
There you go. I'm going to hit him up, dude. I want to. I've been meaning to. It just.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, it just hasn't planned out for me.
That's all good.
It is its own contained story. You could probably go in without watching it, but still it'll be good.
Yeah.
To have a bit more familiarity with the character.
So I know this is maybe a little silly. People won't get this, but I'm more excited for Deadpool too than I am for Infinity War.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's shocking.
That is shocking because I'm gonna see Deadpool too. but I'm really excited for Avengers.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
This is like the real
This
like.
is where like the consequences are gonna be.
Yeah, and I'm gonna conscious the fact that like
It's
we're finally gonna see fucking Guardians
Yeah.
in the mix, and that's
Thanos,
gonna, that meeting alone is gonna be.
They've been
pretty-
building up. They teased Thanos back in 2012, man. That was 6 years ago.
I know it's been that
Yeah,
long.
maybe
a
maybe
long
that's it.
time.
Like it's been such a long wait, so I'm just like, so there's that. But at the same, I mean, yes, there's consequences to the story, but at the same time, we know that a lot of these people are done with this.
Yeah.
So at the same time, like, well, where is the consequence? Because we know some of them are pulling out. So dead or not, they're gone.
Yeah, well, they'll probably kill them off if contracts are
And there
done.
might be some surprises. You never know.
Yeah.
But and I mean that's the thing. So I don't know. I'm not hyping myself up for it.
Yeah,
But-
that's fine. That's the
but-
best. That's the
That's
best.
a
That's
good-
the best
yeah.
mindset to go to any
For
movie
sure,
with.
exactly.
Yeah.
But opening night, no, because I don't like the crowds. But yeah, I mean that same
Yeah.
week I'll probably still watch it.
I'll probably like we.
I think I already have tickets for the second day, like not opening night, but the night
For
after.
2 days before the actual showing.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna see it because the theater I usually go to, they usually show it on like the Thursday night, the night before. And it's all assigned seating, so it's like you don't have to worry about the crowds or anything like that. So I might try to see it on
you
the
guys are
Thursday.
crazy, man. I like the crowds, man. I like being in a
I
full
like
theater.
dude. I remember.
I like the reactions. I like the
No,
crowd to
see-
get rowdy. I like. I don't know.
I'm the opposite. I don't like anyone to be there. I just like to be in my own space, no one talking, no one, because one thing that I just don't like is when people are laughing when they're not supposed to be laughing.
yeah.
It's just like
It depends. It depends on the crowd. Depends like the theater that I go to. Like they don't seat that many
okay,
people.
Yo, where were you going?
I'm
Landmark?
going to Landmark
Yeah,
in New West.
heck yeah. And
Landmark is where it's at, and they're all reclining seats.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Landmark's the best.
And the crowds there are not that bad.
No.
I don't feel like a lot of kids go there. I don't know. So that's why I'm going to try to see it.
It's good.
But the crowds are sometimes like I have good memories of the crowds and shit, despite not really liking them at the time. I remember back in like 2007, I was with your brother, Boris, Lou, and we lined up for like 3 hours to watch Spider-Man 3. Ben, were you there?
Shit.
No, I haven't seen.
Yeah, back when you had to
Spider-Man
back when you actually had to line
You
up.
had
for
to
a movie.
legit line
yeah.
up for the movie, dude. And oh man, that was a different time. And we were so excited for Spider-Man 3.
I kind of missed that culture though in a way. Like
Yeah, a
lining
little
up
bit,
for
right?
stuff. It was kind of like I just remember even getting my PS3 for the MGS4 bundle and that whole lineup. You just meet people that
Yeah.
are just as passionate as you about that thing you were gonna go get, and it was
People
just
would
so
show up dressed up and shit,
Yeah,
dude.
it was
Yeah.
awesome. Like Nintendo still does that. Obviously, you can still do those in certain like
Yeah.
EB games or GameStops. But
Yeah.
Dude, man, if
It's
you
not
like
the same.
If you like lineups, go back to PAX.
Yeah, dude.
I want to try to go to PAX this
That's a
year.
different kind of thing.
That's a whole other
That's
beast.
less of a celebration and more of like
swag bag lineup.
No,
Fuck
man.
that shit. I told that story
I know.
a few podcasts ago.
you guys did not get something signed by Kojima because you
I-
wanted a Kirby shirt. I will never fucking live that down. I was very ashamed of everyone that hour. Yeah, there's this legend who's only come to PAX that one
One
time,
time,
mind
yeah.
you guys. He's never come back. He probably will never come
Dude.
back.
Dude, legends come and go, but Kirby will always
Oh.
remain. Okay.
Oh, that was funny though. That was funny.
It was fun.
Got a poster.
We gotta try to do PAX. We gotta try.
We gotta try. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to ever
Yeah, capture those moments.
recapture
for sure.
the because PAX has changed a lot too now, right? Like the
Yeah.
lines are longer,
And
the
we're-
swag is less.
But it's again, it's
But-
always
We're
it was-
older.
It's always
Yeah.
the time that we
We're
have
older,
together.
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's never the actual show floor at PAX.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always just us fucking around.
You know what? Once they do PlayStation All Stars 2, then we'll go.
yeah,
Go
that was
get-
our game of show, man.
We've had a bad track record.
yeah, I know. What
Really.
was the one before that?
We talked about oh my god, Operation Raccoon City.
Oh, what? Okay, I wasn't there for that shit.
Thank
That's
God.
thank goodness.
I think we've only done one PAX together,
Two,
maybe two.
two.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because there's another one that we went and we took all the van right with Boris
That's
and
right.
everyone.
Oh, that's
that was a
right.
fun one because that
That
one
was a good one.
we
And you
were
guys
up-
when you kept putting that fucking sticker on my back. What game was that for?
No, it was like some sort of game store. It was like Game Stars or something like.
I was a walking billboard the entire time. And
Those motherfuckers should have paid me for the promotion I gave them, man. Rizal had that on his back for like 8 hours.
No, and not only that, but I remember because I didn't go to PAX the last day because I was in town for a friend's my cousin's wedding, and I'm all dressed up for the wedding, And this motherfucker put the thing on my sticker on my back then too. I was like, this son of a bitch. It's pretty funny.
There you go, man. That YouTube money, man. That's what I'll do to you.
That was a fun ass pack strip.
That was
dude.
a fun pack strip.
There was a question, wasn't there, a couple of weeks ago? It's like, well, no, that was killing someone, wasn't it? It wasn't selling out. No, it was. There was a sellout question, wasn't it? Would you sell out your friends for a certain amount of money?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
How much did you make?
a lot, man. A lot. Like the Game Stars, man, they paid me whatever that company was.
They're probably gone now.
Yeah, they're probably gone. It's true.
They
You were their
invested
only
too hard,
bit of
man.
portion.
They invested too hard.
Thanks so much for the question, the paper flame.
Oh god.
This is a question from your boy, Crow/Hero. How to DM a girl properly? Oof.
Oh man, I can't give you advice on this.
I don't.
I can't either.
That culture is like before my time, after my time. You know what I mean? Like I've been in a relationship now for like almost 7 years.
You know,
Sliding in on the DMs was not really a thing back then.
I feel like the slide, you have to there has to be some sort of relation before. You can't just
Oh,
hit
for sure.
someone up
You can't-
through
it can't be a random
DM
person.
unless
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
someone famous who's gonna get
you know what?
laid easily.
I feel like you
Then
should.
you would just think
though.
it's fake.
I feel you shouldn't take it so. Like at least
Yeah.
that's what. Like a part of me seems fun. Like and obviously I haven't because I'm married. But I just think I think it would be fun just to mess around. Like if you go in not at least this is me. You're probably looking for something serious, but I think even more so you should just play with it because unless you want someone who's gonna be uptight, unless like I don't know, that's just the way I see it. You should just mess around. Who cares about how to properly DM? Just go for it and just be hilarious. And if they never respond, then who cares? Like
Yeah.
there's many more girls to scroll through, like or dudes.
Like I
whatever
do,
you're
I do
into.
agree with Bear. Like you, it can't be some rando. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs to be someone you've either met at least once.
Exactly. If you met them once, then obviously you can slide in and just say, hey, what's up?
Slide
It's
in,
nice
yeah.
seeing you, and see if you can spark a conversation from
Just,
there.
yeah.
But he's
And
saying
usually, like
fuck.
like depending on the person's response, you can kind of gauge the interest.
Yeah, going raw dog and just finding an Instagram
Yeah,
model
it's-
and being
it's
like,
not gonna
you know,
work
it's
out.
not gonna
But
work
I mean,
out.
what are you talking about? Are you talking about Instagram, like someone you know? Are you talking Tinder or Bumble or Grindr? Like, what are you talking?
Just like private message.
I would say, yeah, if it's a DM, usually you can only DM people like that you're friends with. I think
Some
that's
people
how
you
it
can
is.
you can leave it open
Yeah.
on
Oh,
Twitter.
okay.
So if you want to leave your DMs open, you
Oh,
could.
okay. But I mean, that's not the best way to approach things. Again, I don't know. We don't
Right.
have the context if it's some
Yeah.
rando, but even if it is like Tinder or whatever, the whole point of that app is to slide in on the
Exactly.
DMs.
So everyone's ready for that,
yeah,
right?
So a person's not gonna be caught off guard if you slide in on the DMs. But
Just go for it, man. Don't be
But
be ashamed to do anything.
be yourself, dude.
Pull your
Be
cock
yourself.
out.
yeah, just send them cock shots.
Yeah.
The worst advice.
Going straight to it. It's like not even a hello. It's just like,
It's just the dick and the balls.
oh god.
You could send us your dick pics.
No.
Podcast.
At
That was
Retel,
a deep cut.
Retelfactor at hotmail.com.
Hotmail.com.
Yeah, we're going back. Dog. It's MSN Messenger.
No, man, AOL, man.
AOL, yeah.
AOL, dude. Anyways, I hope that helps you out.
Yeah.
Crow /
I don't think it did.
Just,
but-
you just gotta go for it. You know,
Just go
you just gotta
for
go
it.
for it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And even if it is like, if you're worried that you're messaging a person that you know and then might tell somebody or something like that, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, who gives a shit? Anyways, that is it
we
for
don't.
questions. That is it. But let us know how it goes. That is it for questions from the top tier community. Again, you guys can send questions in through our community Discord or via email at toptierpodcast@gmail.com.
Woo.
Ooh,
Do you have any clips for us?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Retel, man, I've been
I was busy,
asking you.
man.
I mean to ask you actually before we get into any more questions.
Uh oh. Here we go.
It's not that serious, dude. How's Wipeout VR, dog?
Oh, you saw me playing?
I saw you playing it, man. I'm
it's
just super curious because I've been hearing it's absolutely amazing.
It is fucking
And
amazing.
I've been really trying. I think I'm going to invest in a VR unit like very soon because the price just went down. Actually,
did.
Thank God I waited.
I know
was
because
gonna-
you messaged me about it not too long ago.
I know. I was on Amazon. I was so close to pulling
Yeah.
the trigger. Then I'm so happy. I
Okay,
waited a
hold
little
up.
bit.
What's Wipeout VR and how
Yeah.
much are they costing?
You remember the game Wipeout, right?
Yeah, the car ones.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the
Okay,
F-Zero
okay.
type, right?
F-Zero.
Okay.
For,
So it's basically it's it's a VR version of Wipeout. So they did Wipeout the Omega Collection, I think last summer, I want to say.
Yes, it was recent. It's summer, September,
yeah,
August. Yeah,
somewhere around there. And it was a very good collection. It was like a remaster, I think, of all of the. There's like so much content in there. There's all the classic tracks.
Like 2046 in
and
there.
They just like they did this huge patch for the game that made all of the game like fully playable in VR. And like they added a cockpit view, and like it's incredible. It's incredible. It's doing VR right.
Getting 10 out of 10s and everything.
It's
like,
probably
people are loving it.
It's probably one of the best VR games to come out in a very long time, and one of the best experiences I think you can have in VR right now. I didn't really
better than the Rick and Morty.
I haven't played that yet. It's coming out. It's coming to PSVR.
That's like 10 minutes, I hear.
Yeah,
like if you take like 10, 15 minutes
a little
to
teaser
end.
thing,
Yeah.
it's just tech demo almost. But you know, I did it wrong though, because I jumped in. I was like, I want the full fucking experience, all of my comfort settings, all the way down. And like the game will do this thing where it'll put up blinders for you. So on like because otherwise like your cockpit view is like all glass around you. You can see like your dash and like your little controls, whatever. But then you can look and like all around you, and like you have your full peripheral. But if you turn the comfort settings up, then they'll put up little they'll just be like barriers there, and you can't see past them, and that really helps with nausea. Because I went in,
Because it makes you focus, I guess.
exactly,
on the thing.
yeah.
Makes sense.
So putting those blinders up really helps reduce nausea, and I'm just like, fuck that shit. I want the full experience. And dude, I played for about 15 minutes. I was floored. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, holy
Step out of the car and puke.
fuck, I am sick.
Yeah.
And I've jumped in. I want to slowly build up. I put the comfort settings back up, and it still made me a little bit queasy. I find that I'm sensitive to locomotion, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
you just
have to train it.
Yeah, you have to get your VR legs. You have to slowly
Train it.
slowly increase your sessions. Start with the comfort settings on, and then just kind of build up your tolerance to it.
Yo, dude, what you need to do is get your driver's license. Drive a real car. Maybe
I
then.
got my driver's license.
Maybe then.
Yeah.
And then, but no, the game itself is great.
Yeah.
I definitely like. If you guys want to check it out at some point next time you're over, we should do it because it's.
I would
it's
love
crazy.
to. I would
Let's
love
do it.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Heck
like
yeah.
VR is awesome, man. It's so legit. And I'm so
getting
happy
there,
that
man.
it's getting more and more kind of support with titles. I think Wipeout was the one that most people were looking forward
Like
to.
I'm just happy that it's been almost like a year and a half, and like where it's still getting really good.
good.
New
It's only been a
releases.
year and a half. Yeah,
for
that's right.
PSVR. HTC Vive and Oculus have been around for maybe 2 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's face
the
it. Those
Vive
companies
just had its second reiteration
That's
come
right.
out,
Yeah.
and apparently they're doing the wireless add-on later this fall. They're saying for the Vive, which would be amazing.
Yeah. Is it an add-on, or I think you have to actually just change the whole display, right? Don't you? Or
I thought it was an add-on. I could be wrong.
oh, it could be.
I could be
add-on,
wrong.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah,
wireless.
that's the next step. That's what
Yeah.
needs to happen.
I can't even believe we could do that. You know,
That's
just,
insane.
It's insane.
So much data being transmitted. Like I don't know
it
how
is.
the fuck
It's
they're
so
doing it.
much data. But I don't know. I think for what I want though, PSVR, it seems like of a more stationary. I think to really maximize the enjoyment of Vive, you have to have like a play
You have
space.
a big space.
And
Yeah.
then, like set your markers. And it's just Vive kind of relies, a lot of the Vive games that I played will really rely on you being standing up.
Yeah.
You,
You
know?
can, dude. When
So-
I was playing Wipeout, I was sitting down. And
Of
it's
course,
just super
yeah,
chill. And
yeah.
you just play with a controller and you just look around, and it's amazing. It's one of the
so
best
cool.
VR experiences I had.
Scary.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They need to port all the light gun games to VR.
Yes.
Like they just need to do a whole Time Crisis collection or a whole House of the Dead collection. Like just think it's easy money for them.
The only downside of that is like one of the best parts of those games was like multiplayer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Unless they could somehow do multiplayer VR. That'd be too hard.
Through online, they
Well,
could.
Yeah.
I mean, one day, I don't see why they wouldn't get to that, right? When it's
Yeah,
multiplayer
there's already
VR.
like local would be difficult because you guys would be bumping into each other
yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
But online multiplayer in VR is already a thing, and there's a lot of really popular online VR
yeah,
games.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
like Rigs, when that came out, that was like
Rigs.
all around. There's a Valkyrie.
And then even stuff with like Star Trek Bridge Crew and
Yeah,
Werewolves
Bridge Crew,
Within
that's
is
right.
really popular.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, give it another maybe 5-10 years. If
Rec
VR
Room.
does well, we're gonna start having like there's already like VR cafes and stuff here. Yeah. They're not huge yet, but within time, like those things can get big because they could be a huge space for people to do social multiplayer stuff
Yeah.
through VR. So I hope I'm really rooting for the technology, even though I don't own one, and I will soon. I really, really been thinking about it. It's like, man.
Yeah. I think it'll like I don't know. I'm optimistic about VR, even though like sometimes I'm pessimistic on certain aspects of it. But
Yeah.
I think in the gaming space, it's got like it's going to continue to grow. Like right now, it's a little bit of a niche just because of the price.
Any other big first-party games planned, especially on Sony's end for VR, or is E3 all the news that we're going to need to get?
I don't know, because they just had Moss, which was a big one.
That's a big one, yeah.
And those were probably. There's not much else first party from Sony that I consider
Wipeout VR. That update is a
huge
deal.
Dude.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And they were building that up for a while.
I would say like of the must-own VR games, it's probably top 3.
Top 3. Yeah. What is your top 3?
For must-own VR games, probably Resident Evil 7.
Oh, okay.
Wipeout VR, and I would say either Farpoint.
Rush of Blood, man. Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood's great. I like Rush of Blood.
Yeah, it's not long.
I wouldn't say it's one of the must-haves. I would say probably Farpoint.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But I mean, it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff on there.
No Super Hot Dog?
Oh, fuck. Super Hot's really good, too. Shit.
There's a lot of great games.
There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of games that are, like, transitioned really well to VR. Super Hot's, like, definitely one of them.
Super Hot, I thought Super Hot, like, was, by design, was initially made. I know that there's, like, a non-VR version of it.
Yeah, they are two completely different versions, but it's the same premise.
You know what I mean? It's the golf games that were on the PS1, right?
What?
So the golf games that you say?
No, the golf.
The golf games?
Golf.
Super Hot?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't know what Hot Shots golf.
Hot
I think
shots, it was Hot Shots.
God damn.
PS1, what a great system.
Bear, what are you playing these days?
What else have I played? I remember last time I was talking about playing a lot of Xbox. I was just jumping around, just trying a few things. A bunch of light gun games. Oh, I ordered Time Crisis Collection, by the way, on the PS3. So we're going to be able to play Dead Storm Pirates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Time Crisis 4 is on there.
But those are the ones where you have to mount the sensors.
Yeah, it's not like...
on 4.
I'm talking it's on PS3.
Oh, PS3, okay.
Because there's no light gun games on PS4.
Yeah, no.
Other than like Rush of Blood, if you consider that one, which probably is one. But there's like none of those. Like that genre is like non-existent on PS4. That's why
they could totally do it with the PS4 camera.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what they need to just do.
Tons of people have one because of VR now.
Yeah, it's like they probably don't even need VR. Why don't they just port those games using PlayStation Eye and like that and
doesn't make any sense.
And like people who don't even own Move controllers can likely just use their controller because it has the light on it. And just use that as I don't know.
The tracking is actually surprisingly good just on the regular DualShock.
Yeah, the whole light aspect of that. But yeah, that's what else have I been playing? I think I went back and played some retro stuff recently too.
Dude, I've been playing so much retro shit.
Yeah, I've been watching the My Life in Gaming guys too.
They're
like
great.
And they know I feel like they because they're older, a few generations or one generation I'd say, about 10 years older.
Yeah.
And dude, they had like in their videos they have like Trap Gunner and stuff playing in the background. I'm like, oh, these guys know like a lot of the OG good games.
Yeah.
So I've been really itching to play more. But I just don't know where to really go. I've been thinking about buying a Retron to play on the TV, but I don't know. At the same time, it's kind of like the FrameMeister setup you have here is like it's
I know
it's a
little extra.
But it's worth, I think.
But it's if you want the true fucking experience, and like emulation only goes so far these days for certain games. Like I have a Sega Saturn, very shitty Sega Saturn emulation. N64, very shitty N64 emulation out there.
Yeah.
And even with the Retron, really it's just an emulator. You know.
It really is. It dumps the information.
It dumps the ROM and then
uses the cartridge as a key.
Basically,
that's all it is, right? So. The game does not run like it does in the original hardware. If you really care about that, I'm not a person who cares about like pixel perfect shit. I'm not that deep.
I'm with you there too. Like I will say it's more worth it to go with like a RetroPie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Instead
true.
of a Retron, because you can actually use any controller on a fucking
I have the
Retron.
Vita TV, but the Vita TV the display is not amazing, right? It's like it's only a 720, and like the emulators on it don't really give you the pure great colors. So. Yeah, I've been thinking about modding our Japanese Saturn too with the Phoebe chip in it. Just thinking about
an SD load?
Just like an SD load because we've gone through some Saturns.
Really?
I think we've gone through one or two. We've definitely at least gone through one. And like they're good, don't get me wrong. The controllers are flimsy as fuck, but the disk drives, we are getting to that age where like disk rot and like lasers are starting to go out, and that's preserving definitely these CD-based systems is like way harder, right?
Yeah, that's one good thing you can say about the cartridge-based systems is
they're gonna last forever.
Yeah, they'll last a very long time.
Yeah, there's nothing moving in them, so it's just to have a Saturn with no moving parts or a Dreamcast with no moving parts would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. But every time I boot up my my Dreamcast and it's reading a disc, it sounds like it's.
Oh yeah,
it
Dreamcast.
Sounds like it's hurting, dude.
Exactly. I remember the first time we got a Dreamcast, I thought it was a problem.
Sounds like it's in pain.
I was like,
man.
what the hell's going on? Did we get a broken Dreamcast or something? But
that's
it's like
just the way it sounds. That's the way it sounds when it reads discs.
Kill me.
Yeah, it is.
Help.
That's nuts. But in terms of the Saturn, there's a guy who's working on like using the MPEG video card. You probably saw it,
Yeah,
just
I
to
did.
use to do the mods and
At the
running
back,
games
right?
through that. Yeah,
But I don't know if there's been any updates on that since like 20. I want to say at least a year.
it's been a
almost.
year. Yeah, the dude's busy, but if he can get that shit to work, holy fuck.
It'd be amazing.
Because
Oh,
that way
yeah.
you can keep your disc tray and keep your.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
only
right,
shitty
right.
thing about the Phoebe is you have to take out the disk drive
You
entirely.
do. You do.
So
yeah.
you sacrifice being able to use any of your discs at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's worth it if your fucking disk drive is broken.
It is, yeah.
But
That's crazy, man. Just looking on eBay all the time, and don't get me wrong, eBay's not a great place to judge prices.
no,
It's a
everything is
terrible
fucking
place.
inflated,
It's
dude.
inflated like crazy there, but it's crazy how much retro gaming, how expensive it's been getting, man. It's like if you want the games you want to own, like try and get them now because it's just getting worse. Like,
It really is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I was talking to John last night, and he was like, "Bear, you have to get your copy of Snatcher. Trust me, you just have to get it."
Because
I
he
was
owns
like,
a copy, right?
He owns a copy, and I was
Yeah.
like, "John, that game is worth $600. I cannot justify, like, even though it's one of my favorite games of all time, I cannot justify paying that much
Yeah, it's crazy.
for just a Sega CD game that I'm never gonna put into a Sega CD." So that's like, that's nuts.
Yeah, because you don't even have a Sega CD, do you?
I do not. I have a Genesis, but I don't know because Sega CD units are pretty expensive, and
They
you know
are.
they run burnt games, by the way, like off the thing.
Really?
So you don't need the original games for them. To, but
Just for the collector value of
just
it,
for
or
the
just
collector
wanting
value.
to collect?
yeah, I think like the Genesis RAM cards. Sorry, do you know the SD cards that you can get for them that can run games off of just like a SD card? Mm-hmm. The
The
what are they-
EverDrive?
EverDrives, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I believe the ones for Sega CD like don't even need the Sega CD attached
Are you
to
serious?
it. I'm
That-
pretty sure if you get
that
like
would
one
make
of the,
sense.
if you get one of the higher tiers that actually has the chip in it, I think it might be able to play Sega CD stuff. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what I got from the reading
Interesting.
that I've done. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
That would make sense, actually, because I don't know if there's any extra processing power inside
It was
of
probably
the
just a chip,
CD.
and it was just a CD unit
Yeah.
attached to it.
Just
Yeah,
get
there was a
some-
chip to do some form of audio to output the audio because it was actually CD audio that you were able to get. out of
Right,
it,
that's
so
probably the biggest difference, because the Genesis audio sucks.
it sucks. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's terrible. I mean,
The color palette's ass.
yeah,
But I just got my SCART cable for my Genesis.
yeah. I hear it's one of the best
Yeah,
SCART
dude.
outputs.
The RGB is so insanely crisp. It's insane.
Yeah, why the fuck was Genesis just so good randomly?
Yeah,
That's insane.
It's funny because I grew up a Nintendo kid.
yeah. Do you
I
have
had
a
a Super
model?
Nintendo.
Do you have a Model 2 or a Model 1?
Of Genesis, I have a Model 1.
Oh, nice, yeah. I got that bitch too.
And so I recently acquired a Genesis from my parents' house. It was deep in the basement there.
Oh,
And,
there's in the deep cuts.
And yeah, I've just been like exploring the Genesis library. I was like,
man,
this system had a lot of
Fucking
gems.
amazing. It's just
Yeah.
the good games are just worth so much. Like
Yeah.
if you want to buy a copy of Contra Hardcore, right? It's like
Oh.
Yeah,
it's like it's
Dude.
expensive.
it's on my
man.
saved watch list and for eBay.
eBay, dude.
Trying to find good deals.
Just
there.
buy an EverDrive.
I
Yeah.
remember,
So I
I
think you
remember
should.
renting that game, dude.
Oh, did you? You
I
should have
l-
kept that copy, man.
Yeah.
It's worth $100 now.
Because I never saw it ever again.
Yeah.
I rented that game once,
Yeah.
and I loved it. And I don't know if the game glitched or what, but I remember the game started and I had like 99 lives. Like legit.
Enter the
Oh.
Konami code
Legit.
by accident.
I kid you not. And I was like, what the heck? But then I was like,
These are some Mexican copies that you're playing, dude. I'm telling you.
yeah.
That's insane, dude.
sketchy ass
And the
shit.
other thing too, though, like having 99 lives is no shame because the American version of Contra Hardcore was
harder.
like harder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it didn't
was
have.
harder than
You
the
had like
Japanese
life
version.
points, or like hit points. Sorry, and the Japanese version. And it's like, man, the Japanese players are better gamers than us.
Yeah.
Like you should give them the harder copy,
Yeah, yeah.
motherfuckers. I don't know what's going on, but it was. Genesis is a great system. A lot of good stuff
A lot
to
of
play.
hidden gems on there.
Victor
Yeah.
Man.
Back to I was playing.
Yeah.
I was playing on my RetroPie, and I started playing this game called Rocket Knight.
Is that the
Rocket
one
Knight
with the rack?
Adventures?
Yeah.
that's
That
the
one's
possum, yeah.
amazing. That one's
The game's
amazing.
so good. I
That's
was
a
like,
great
what the
game.
fuck?
That was
how did this character never leave this console?
Exclusive too, yeah, it was great, and they had a lot of good X-Men games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the for some
Yeah.
reason the Genesis just felt like they got more X-Men games than like Super Nintendo
Yeah.
and everything. Play MK1, MK2, MK1 with actual blood.
Yeah,
You know.
only home version that has it.
Yeah.
Those Pac-Man Adventures. Those on the Super Nintendo as well. But do you guys ever play Pac-Man Adventures?
I never played
no.
Pac-Man Adventures.
Like you have Pac-Man and you work basically as like his guide. So you have a slingshot, and so you could slingshot anything in the background, and you could tell him to go right, left, look up, look down. So you're just guiding him the whole way. So you can just do so many mischievous things. And I remember as a kid just being the funniest thing because, like, you're guiding him, but you could do so much mayhem, like break windows, and he gets in trouble for it. And so he gets in different moods. He could be very happy or very upset. Either way, I thought that was like one of the greatest games ever because there was a lot of puzzles to it.
Yeah.
But like it was a game unlike you've ever played.
Wow.
Because it wasn't, yeah.
I'd love to check that out, actually. That sounds so cool.
For sure. There's a lot of games from that generation that just aged so well, and they're still so fun. There's a lot of, there's some crap, but there's a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, the Shining games are good. I mean, Retel, if you're ever wanting to go into like a deep worm of JRPGs, the Saturn is so good too.
Yeah, I hear it. I know, like I used to have on the Game Boy Advance, I had the Phantasy Star collection.
Yeah.
And like Phantasy Star 1 and 2 are really good. I don't think I ever played 3 or 4, but
yeah.
And then Shining Force 2 is apparently really, really good.
Yeah, Shining Force is really good.
There's a lot of good stuff on there.
Broforce, I hear.
Bro Force. We played that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Hey, Broforce is a great game.
We beat it, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think we did. This is such a stupid game, but
it
it was a lot of
fun.
fun.
Over one evening, we just like went
We just
hard.
plowed
and-
through it.
Ben was over one day, and he this is when you just got your PS4 and you had Mercenary Kings, and I think Ben was like dying to play.
Oh,
it.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
yeah,
right. I forgot
yeah.
about that. Wait, is that on PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like free on Plus at a certain point.
I don't think
but it's
I
not
bought
it's not
it.
expensive.
I forgot about that. I want that so bad for so
Yeah.
long. This was before Gungeon.
This is why, well,
Oh,
Gungeon's
yeah.
a pretty
Gungeon's
pretty
like
new game.
2016.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's 2 years old now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mercenary Kings. Yeah.
Crazy.
Mercenary Kings. I think it's coming to Switch. Pretty sure Mercenary Kings is coming to Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
everything's coming to
Everything's
Switch
coming
now.
to
Yeah.
Switch. You hear about the Spyro remaster?
Yeah, that's right.
Not coming to Switch. Well, it probably will at some point.
It will later on for sure. Because Crash is coming to Switch, so you got to imagine
Yeah,
Spyro
yeah,
is too.
But they're being
cool,
made by
man.
different companies, aren't they? But I mean, still, they're I can't imagine it's not exclusive.
Yeah.
I don't know who owns Spyro. Insomniac?
Activision, right?
Is it Activision?
It's Activision owns
The
them.
Skylanders people. So yeah, that is Activision.
Right.
Yeah.
So because they also own Crash, right? So
Who made the original Spyro games?
I want to say it might have been Insomniac.
That's what I was thinking. May have been Insomniac. I don't know.
Because I don't think it was Naughty Dog.
Definitely wasn't Naughty
Yeah,
Dog.
it
No, let
definitely
me
wasn't
see.
them, so. Yeah, really cool that they're doing it. I don't know if Spyro is going to be as big as Crash in terms of sales, but we'll see. I think just Crash had more of a... Crash hasn't been around for longer, so the game actually sold like crazy.
Was Insomniac.
It was?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think, just the type of game Crash was. The fact that it was just like, it was just like an on rails type thing, and it wasn't, I don't remember ever like were the Spyro games like collectathon games, platformers almost?
They were, yeah. They were more
They
towards
were, yeah.
they were more towards that.
Yeah.
For sure. They were not like
So I think the Crash gameplay probably aged better, but I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, for
like
some people. Some people just couldn't do Crash. I know a lot of people bought the trilogy and were like, I can't even play
Yeah,
this.
it's
I remember talking to Vic about it, and he was having a hard time getting through the levels.
dude, they're hard, man.
They're hard, dude. I remember, there's this one level that I got like, dude, I failed at so much, like, because I was trying to get the time record on it.
Oh fuck.
And I remember practicing, and eventually I got really good at
lot
it.
of
It's one
people-
when you're hopping on the turtles and you're on the bridge.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the bridge. Is that Crash 1?
The Crash 1, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Crash 1 is the hardest one.
That
The
is
other two
hardest one.
games,
That's why like a lot
Yeah.
of people are saying just go to Crash 2.
yeah, I played
Yeah.
through 1 the most, because I think
Yeah.
that's the one I played when growing up the most, but it was definitely the hardest,
Yeah.
because
We're playing it on stream for the 24-hour stream back in November,
Yeah.
and we were on that fucking bridge level for so long. Just because the depth perception, you can't tell if you're jumping far
you just
enough.
have to get good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just comes from failure.
Yeah.
that you
Just
get
gotta
better and better.
Learn the timing on everything.
Yeah.
Just memorize it. It's insane. And then you can't even take your time because a lot of the fucking planks just break instantly.
Well, if
It's
you're
just
trying to
like,
get the
what
time
fuck?
record
you
too,
just have to keep going.
you have to just be fucking fast.
Yeah.
You have to be moving forward
Just
all the
fucking
way.
fast.
Yeah, just like that. But
Yeah, heck yeah. No, yeah. Crash 2, that was one of the few games as a kid that I like got 100%. Like I
Really?
beat it through and through. Like went to all the secret levels,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a funny thing because there was no internet. There was no way to like check out. So it was like literally just playing the game,
I get those magazines, man. Those game guides.
Get the
just word of mouth
Yeah.
and
The
just
guides.
messing around. Like I remember there was like there's like a stairway of like nitro, and if you touch nitro, you're dead. But like these ones weren't moving, so like you could actually hop on them because they're not real nitro. They're just the game messes with you. Like they bait you with so many things. Like all these secret levels, like you have to pay attention because nitro are always moving, but these ones are not. So anyways, there was so much crap like that. I remember just figuring it all out.
I never played the Crash trilogy because I was a Nintendo kid growing up, even through that era. So I never had a PS1.
Right. Yeah.
So
they need to remaster all the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
Really? They did Tony Hawk HD, and there was a remake of the first one. Yeah,
I think
2 is the best.
Yeah, for me 2 is the best. 2 or 3 they need to do for sure.
I don't know if they would hold up though. I don't know. Would they still be fun?
Dude, when I went to Maui last year, I loaded up my fucking PS Vita.
With some PS1 games?
With PS1, dude, I was playing. I fucking 100%ed Tony Hawk 2.
Oh,
still
shit.
holds up to this day.
Really?
I still remembered where all the secrets were, and like it was amazing.
For me, it was more of a Cool Borders and then SSX when that came out.
SSX was something else.
Too bad that series
Tricky
went
was
to the gutter too.
Yeah,
Tricky was my shit.
Just destroyed
series
Tricky, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only SSX one I played.
Yeah, SSX 3 was good too.
I mean, I played the one that lose, and that one was.
Yeah. They made one in 2012, I believe.
Yeah, it's too bad, man. Too bad. It's so sad because it's Steep was kind of like people were hoping was gonna be like SSX, but that was like a real weird mix between simulator and arcade. Like Steep just did not know it didn't have an identity.
They gotta bring back Amped.
Dude, they gotta bring up Final Fantasy VII snowboarding. That's what they
that
mini game.
They gotta bring back Snowboard Kids, dude.
Yeah.
Snowboard Kids.
You remember that game?
No, I never.
It was on PS1 and N64. It was not good.
Let's play a lot of games that weren't good.
I was an N64 kid, man. I played what I had.
yeah, for sure. The library was not huge, man, on the N64.
No.
But I loved it, man. The games that you did have, you played the shit out of. Like playing Smash 64.
Smash 64 is so good.
This is my game that I wake up every morning and just fucking gush over and want to play over and over. It was amazing.
64 is still fun to play, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
No, I wasn't the 64. I was a PS1 guy, so I got it way late. Like when it was
Well,
at the end of its.
It was the better system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was the same. I got it later as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, back when Smash 64 came out, that was like I was all over it. Dude.
Right.
Because that was for me as an N64 kid. I was just like, yes, I finally have a game that's good.
It's funny because the game wasn't a huge phenomenon when it came out, right? Like
I thought it was pretty big.
Was it
all
pretty
my
big?
friends at school were playing.
Okay, because I remember hearing that there was like in terms of reviews and stuff like that, it was just kind of like a weird bumpy thing. I think I heard this from like Vic or someone that they were talking about it, but I mean, it really.
Yeah, I don't think at the time I was really following the reviews.
But 64 is amazing. It's like the second best Smash game.
I think so. I think it's up there, dude.
Yeah, if you don't include Project M because that's a mod, but it's a second.
It's like
best
Melee and then
if you don't
64.
include Brawl.
Well, Brawl doesn't exist, man.
Brawl's the worst of the series.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone doubts that.
Yeah. Sometimes, that's true. Brawl is the worst.
I think that's universally accepted.
Smash 4 is kind of garbage, dude. I just can't with Smash 4. I don't like. Yeah,
it's not the one that I enjoy playing, but
tell us how you really feel about the Smash Balls.
yeah. actually, like Smash 4 will actually be more probably. I don't know.
It's better than Brawl for sure. I think it's a fun party game. If you have being able to jump in with 8 players, I think is fun.
8 players is godlike, and the roster is godlike.
And the presentation, the visuals.
Yeah. But the roster can't save a game, you know.
Like the stages and the amount of content in that game, it really caters to the Nintendo fans. For sure.
They should just paid the Project M team. Just be like, gather all your motherfuckers.
Do the gameplay, dude. Just do the gameplay.
Well, just gather that team to do it and make a whole new Smash game. It's the smartest thing Nintendo would have ever done. But they're very backwards in their game design. A lot of times, they're still too traditional.
Because I guarantee you, like a casual Smash player or whatever can pick up that game and have just as much fun.
Of course, yeah.
That's the beauty.
A lot of casual Smash players I talk to, who don't even know the advanced tactics and all this stuff, like they a lot of times prefer Melee too. It just feels faster, right? It just feels like you have more movement options and more mobility.
Coming from a person who's not some godlike Smash player, dude. But just for me, having that extra speed and just like
having that ceiling of skill, right? For me too, I've never reached that point in Smash Melee. I feel like I could have played that game like some people are for another 10 years and still learned more stuff and more things to do. Where I mean, a lot of people will argue that Smash 4 there's still tech being learned, but it's not in the same way. It's not the same level of skill gap. And
There's just so many hidden.
things,
So much hidden tech
yes,
in
it's
that
crazy.
game, and that's what makes it fun and exciting, and that's why it's had the life.
Yeah,
that
and
it's
64 has that as well too.
Yeah.
Smash 64 has got some really advanced stuff. That's where like L canceling came from, right? Was Smash 64, and it's like 0 frames. If you L cancel, you like recover instantly.
insane.
Yeah, so it's almost as like they kept a few of the mechanics on purpose.
Competitive Smash, because if you go back and play that on an actual N64, that game lagged like crazy.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much slowdown.
It is.
I wonder, like,
That's part of the gameplay.
yeah, I
Oh,
guess
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just something that they're
You
used
start
to.
mashing the fireballs, dude, and the game starts lagging hard. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
It's like, gulh.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's part of the charm, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is gonna be it for episode. What was this? 92.
92, dude. 8
of
more
the
episodes.
top tier
Help us
podcast.
out.
And then we're canceling the show at 100, right?
We're canceling the show.
I thought we
at
were
episode
going to go
100.
cliffhanger. End at 99.
One of us
Yeah.
gets
Never
killed,
come back.
and you'll never know who did it.
Shit got dark real fast,
I know.
boys.
We're gonna clone
Dude,
Hyatt, dude.
Yo, I
It's gonna be
legit
great.
last night had a dream that I was in some weird like hide and seek game with like what felt like you guys, but it was like a murder hide and seek.
Oh,
Where it's like
shit.
who's the killer? And
Some dark stuff.
Behr.
Is that what you
Yes.
think about us? Yeah, it's probably
I
me,
don't
dude.
know.
Trying to make YouTube money and
Make-
yeah, trying to
Anyways.
record.
Let's go watch that
Yeah.
UFC fight that would have happened 2 weeks ago. If you guys are watching this,
Yes,
when it got
you
published.
can tell our excitement by our voices.
yes.
Anyways, if you guys think our 4 hours of free podcast content every single month is worth a couple bucks, hit us up over at patreon.com/top tier podcast. And hit us up on our Discord as well. We're accepting questions there. There's always conversation, and you guys can DM us, slap into the DMs
Slap in the DMs.
over at the Top Tier Podcast Community Discord. Anyways, thanks, Ben. Thanks, Bear. Thanks to you guys. Peace out.